On the other side, one of my oldest and dearest friends in this business continues to truck along. And he's gracious enough to spend a few minutes with us this morning. George Hines from George's Music. Come on up. Yeah, you got to hustle.
I got to run. Hey, Joe.
All right.
How y'all doing this morning, huh?
George, 35 years. Happy anniversary, by the way.
Thank you.
Of George's Music. And 35 years of success. I just got to say, you know, there's a contrast to a new business that's exciting and growing. Somehow, for 35 years, you've been able to have a successful business.
Right.
You've had the respect of your peers and friendships that are so deep. I mean,
Thank
I love
you.
fly fishing with you. And you've got a team, and you've assembled a staff that's just incredible. You know, we're talking about innovation today. How do you do it? How do you keep it exciting and innovative after 35 years? Because no one does it like you.
Thank you. I'm on a mission from God, Joe.
Really?
Yeah, you think?
This could go a couple different ways. I mean, again, you got a lot of energy. I get that. But I mean, it's
a
gotta be
passion
more
industry.
than that, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. You know, it's either by design or default is how I look at it. And I started out, you know, when I was 22, and I had a love and passion for the music industry. But I've easily realized that if I wanted to be successful, I had to determine what I wanted and be specific about it. So I detailed that experience that I expected.
You wrote out this thing?
I wrote it out.
Wow.
Things like when a customer walks in, they need to be greeted within 10 seconds. If we walk within 10 feet, they need to be given some recognition. When they make a purchase, they need to be personally thanked from around the counter. We introduce our customers to our other associates and our managers. We send them thank you cards if it's over a certain.
Yeah,
you know.
okay. So that's good with one store. How do you
Well,
do
then
it
we
over
just keep
your
documenting
empire?
it.
How do you spread that culture
So-
of innovation and customer service around?
When we started to expand, we just took the list of experiences and we kept growing them and adapting to the expansion.
Mm-hmm.
And then we actually hired a firm to go in independently and check to see whether these things were happening in our stores, so we could measure the experience, make sure that we were staying on target.
Mm-hmm.
And the consumer is an interesting, individual these days. They're rapidly changing.
Yeah.
So we need to keep looking at what we're doing. You know, not get stale. Keep reanalyzing what has changed.
Yeah, that was something interesting we talked about. You know, look, Skip was telling me about an experience where a customer came in and took up all his time on a repair. He ended up getting them what they needed. It was cheaper than getting the repair done and all that. And at the last minute, they pulled out a smartphone, looked for a better deal, and walked. I mean, so you have a customer-focused business model.
Right.
And that means you can't blame the customer for things that go not the way you want. How do you bring these two worlds together? Things are changing dramatically.
Yeah, we learn from our customers. Like, it's funny. I used to, in the early days, maybe those things bothered me. Now I look at them as opportunities. You know, if for some reason someone actually is going to pull out a phone right now and scan a code and buy it online, and I'm not able to give them a valid reason to buy from me, I look at that as an opportunity to try to figure out how do I change this dynamic.
Yeah.
Because it won't be, you can't continue doing business the same way when technology changes, the way people communicate changes, the way the customer's expectation changes. You need to adapt.
Yeah.
And you need to adapt. There's a saying that if the world is changing faster outside of your store than it is inside of your store, then you're headed towards the wrong place.
Mm.
So we need to adapt as retailers as quickly as we can to the changing expectation of the consumer. Our friends at Hello Music kind of made that,
Yeah.
point,
Well,
I
one of the
think.
things they said earlier, that the start of the business was a completely different model. It was about how to find the best and brightest bands, get them signed, and this community fed back and said, hey, we have a whole bunch of other needs, and they pivoted just like that.
Right.
So I guess one of the things about brick and mortar, you've got a tremendous investment in your old way of doing business. You're not your old way, your current way of doing business.
Our legacy way, yes.
So you got to make those changes. Again, it's
But here's the thing. I mean, if you want to make sure you keep fresh, you need to read materials that get you thinking that way. You occasionally should shake hands with your left hand instead of your right hand. Do things that are not common. We do circle meetings in our office every morning. We always mix it up. So people will stand in different places. We try to just do menial things differently so that our minds are open to change and making a difference with our customers.
There's a lot of great sharing groups out there. One of my favorite is AIM. And you guys
Thanks.
had a theme for this show,
Right.
which was renew your passion. A lot of the guys have been in business a long time. Why did you pick that theme?
Because a lot of the guys have been in business a long time. So, when I was like a young boy, I was 21, I signed a lease, and I opened when I was just turned 22. I had this passion, and I looked at everything, as an open, palette, and just create the store. But what happens is, as you're in it longer and longer, you get into a routine, a behavior. It's very hard to change that. But the passion is the leverage you need to make the change. Because we still love the industry, we love our customers, we just love the fact that music changes lives. It's a big mission, And so if we want to be successful, we need to adapt to what the consumer's expectations are. Mm-hmm. And so renewing your passion has to do with digging back deep inside those original things that most of these retailers had when they started their businesses, using that to re-energize that leadership role that they take now to adapt and then go out there and change the world, change the way they run their stores, change the way they talk to their customers, and change the world.
Yeah. And it all comes from hiring the right people, I'm sure. That's got to be a rigorous process for you. You want the right people on your bus.
Right.
Being able to really communicate that. You've got a lot of different passions. One of them, I think, is technology. So tell us a little bit about what you're working on with the NAMM Technology Committee.
Well, the NAMM Technology Committee has been spending years in standardizing the data that the suppliers provide to retailers to sell to the consumer. And when we looked at it, we thought the work was pretty sound. And we wanted to give it the just reward of implementation. Mm-hmm. So we had hired a software company to take a look at it, and they thought this was a good start. And we are working with that committee to create high-quality content that will, I believe, could transform the way we communicate to the consumer with the feeds that come from suppliers out to whether you're a bricks and mortar or an e-com site. We want to create high-quality standards and adapt those standards to the needs of the consumer. They're going to want, new kinds of photography, new kinds of video, new kinds of documentation, new ways of relating products. We think that AIM can work with NAMM, help standardize the quality of that data, and help change the industry.
Wow. I think as we wrap up here and kind of move on, I just think that going forward, what are you excited about? What's next for George's music?
I want to reinvent. The retail side of this to be more in line with what's happening with the customer's expectations. I mean, social media is becoming probably the way that they'd like to communicate. We've instituted a live chat.
With George?
They can, well, sometimes me, but we have multiple, I would say a lot of people that handle it. And it runs from about 8:30 in the morning till about 12 hours a day.
Wow.
And they can communicate, with us directly live on our website. Yeah. And it's amazing how many people have gone for that. And we've implemented the QR code approach. Mm-hmm. We've run promotions with suppliers. We've had promotions where customers come in and scan the code and win money and to generate traffic. So I'm going to leave. This is a really important issue. If you all want, I'm a numbers guy. If you couldn't tell, look at the suit, right? But I love the music business. So I was thinking about the number side and then thinking if we're retailers and we want to be successful, what would the key indicators really be for us this year and maybe next? And I came up with two. I'd like to share, and if someone feels they're good and can use them, that'd be great. One of them is it's really not the sales volume we're doing, it's how many people coming into our locations. So the question is, what are we doing to drive people into our stores? Then the second one is, if they come into our stores, what are we doing to convert them into a customer? So if you were to look at driving your business through the amount of people that you have walking in and the amount of people that then engage with you and buy, your numbers will come up. And that is something that you can easily get your arms around. You can figure ways we did about 900 events in our stores last year. We have 4 clubs that have about 20,000 members in them. We do special events for the club members. Look for things that will drive the customer back in and then figure out when they're there how to offer a value add so that they keep buying from us. Wow. And I am going to take the combination of retailing and e-tailing and make them so that they complement, not compete. If you look at what Apple has done, they've taken a great retail concept, a great online concept, and they drive retail through the online and vice versa. And it's the complement that makes it powerful. Yeah. And so we should look at models like that.
Yeah. From the customer's point of view, George.
From the customer's point of view.
That's
always.
the answer. Well,
absolutely.
What a great inspiration to us. Another 35 years?
Great. Thank you for saying that. I hope so. Okay,
George
thank
Hines,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.